Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Pokeballs Podcast. This is week 13, our 13th episode. Crazy. My name is Lee, one of your hosts, and I'm joined as always by my co-host Scott. How are you doing this week, my friend?
I am good, but very tired.
I've
had a long...
been a busy boy,
I've
I
been...
think.
I've probably worked the hardest I've ever worked in the last week. So yeah, I haven't had a lot of sleep because I'm working on a film at the moment, and so it's been pretty crazy.
Are you allowed to say what film it is? Or are you not allowed to
No,
say?
I can't. I'm not allowed to say what film it is yet,
NDAs.
but it's got a cool director. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but we'll have to see. We'll
Can
have
you
to see
tell
how it
us
comes out.
when it's all done, you can tell us a little bit about it, right? Because I think this will be interesting for our listeners and viewers.
Oh,
yeah?
100%.
Cool.
100%.
Okay. I'll remember on so we can do that as and when. But yeah, mate, how long you got left on set?
3 more weeks, unfortunately.
And you only
It's
get
pretty
weekends
brutal.
off, right?
Yeah, I mean they're like 12-hour shoot days, so it's sort of like up
Mate.
at 6. Well, actually, 6:30, between 6:30 and 7, and then I got back to my hotel room at 9:30 today, so it's pretty brutal days, to be honest with you.
That is brutal. Okay, so everyone listening this week, everyone watching this week, for Scott, for the effort that he's putting in to be here tonight to record this podcast for this week. If you're on Spotify, if you're on iTunes, leave a review, please. Leave a review for Scott. And if you're on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment, and send him some good well wishes, because I think he needs some. So, yeah, dude, I hope it eases up. Hope you have fun and it goes smoothly from here on out. And we'll look forward to catching in with you in like 3 weeks' time to hear about what you can tell us about it, because I'm sure it's going to be interesting. So that's good. But if you're just struggling at the minute, mate, then just struggling. The blue hair's still there for all our listeners.
Yeah,
Scott's
I
still rocking
re-dyed
the
it
blue hair. It's
at the
looking
weekend,
good.
so thank you.
It's looking good.
But yeah, no. Yeah, apart from that, just all good. It's been a difficult one because I've sort of been disconnected from the internet this sort of past week. Like I really haven't had a chance to like look at my phone or Twitter or YouTube. I mean, I briefly managed to get a chance because it was Father's Day over the weekend. I didn't have loads of time to look, but I know there's been loads of drama with the 151 set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and obviously all the cards have basically been leaked for that now. But no, and yeah, we never got a Tera Raid again. As we're gonna dive into that. We never got 7-star Tera Raid that we thought we'd get for Delphox.
Nothing.
And it feels like we might be getting some news this week. I mean, potentially you were saying, but I mean, we'll have to. I mean, like I say, you're gonna have to lead the way with this pod because I know a few things, but like not enough, to be honest with you. I'm a bit out of the loop this week, should we say?
Don't worry, mate. I will take you, our listeners and our viewers, on a journey this week, and we'll delve into all of it. We'll delve into all of it and go through everything. We've got some good stuff to cover this week. There's been a bunch of things happening this last week, and it does feel like the big Pokemon boulder is slowly starting to make its way down the hill and pick up a little bit of momentum and swing towards potentially some big things coming to give us a bit more to talk about, because it has been pretty dry lately with everything going on. So where do we start? Okay, we'll start with the Tera Raids. Okay, this week, so we had the return of the 7-star Chestnut and the Spotlight Tera Raid events in Scarlet and Violet, returning after the issues that we experienced a month ago. They're now back, and they went pretty smoothly as far as I'm aware. Ran over this past weekend. But unlike other weeks where we've had these raid events happen, they end on Sunday evening at midnight UTC, and then around 1 p.m. we get an update for the next week's 7-star Tera Raid event that will be happening. We expected it to be that Fairy Terra type Delphox. That got leaked on the Spanish Pokemon Home app before all the issues with the Chestnut and the Great Tusks Iron Tread Spotlight Tera Raid event happened. So we know that is the next 7-star Tera Raid event that's coming, and we were 100% expecting it to be announced last night. I waited up for the news, and nothing happened. Nothing came, and I kind of just gave up around 1:30 because I was super tired. I was like, I can't stay up any longer.
Imagine.
But there was other news that dropped at the time, but I didn't really cover it until this morning because I was like, it's not like massively important. But we do have some other news, and it's nothing really that big, but it kind of indicates that we will be getting an update and highlights some errors that previously weren't really known in the games from Pokemon that were compatible from Pokemon Home into Scarlet and Violet, namely the Hisuian Pokemon. So there's 3 moves, signature attacks that are affected by this, and they've outlined these 3 moves, which are Fatal Claw, which is Dire Claw, Stone Axe, which is Cleaver's signature attack, Dire Claw is Sneaseless signature attack, and then the ceaseless something that won't show up in the translate here, which is Hisuian Samurot's signature attack. Now they all have like a bunch of added effects to them, like with the Dire Claw, you can have the chance to paralyze a Pokemon, put it to sleep, or poison it, right? But they also have the added effect, all of them, of having a high critical hit chance from Pokemon Legends Arceus. They've said, Pokemon have come out and said that the critical hit chance on all of them is a mistake. It shouldn't be in these games, so they need to correct that, and that's what they will be doing. So there will be an update at some point down the line before Regulation D commences on the 1st of July. So it only gives them like 2 weeks to get this update patch out. So you've got to think like now that we are going to see an update at some point to kind of correct these moves and make sure they're not messing around in Regulation D when that starts. So that was the only thing that we got news-wise. And the other thing that we did get was a little tweet out from Junichi Masuda. And when this happens, everyone seems to go crazy because they think, okay, and this has happened in the past. Masuda? Yeah. So this happened like numerous times when we were running up to Sword and Shield's release and Scarlet and Violet's release. He would tweet something along the lines of this, and then that week we would get like a trailer or something like that in regards to the new games or whatever's kind of coming up. So that happened around the same time as this announcement last night. So people are like, oh, well, why didn't we get the Tera Raid announcement this week? Because everything's fixed, right? So we should surely have the Tera Raid event. So Masuda's tweeted this out, and it's kind of like, well, we're putting 2 and 2 together. Are we getting something this week, which would make sense? And if we go back to our theory that we had weeks and weeks ago on the podcast about the timeline about Chestnut, then it was Delphox or Rillaboom, and then Rillaboom or Delphox, right? Now, the second phase, if the Rillaboom was the final one, the second phase of the Rillaboom should have ended without any issues that we'd had last night. So we should have had that first phase of the 7-star Tera Raids finishing last night without any of the issues. So if you're going off like a promotional timeline for a DLC trailer after they'd finished, it would be this week. So it makes kind of sense that we potentially are getting something this week. So hopefully we do get like an update about DLCs, about a Tera Raid.
What does the tweet say, just for the audio listeners?
For the audio listeners, it does say, good morning, everybody. Let's do our best again this week. And that is it. Short and sweet. But similar messages have been put out before. And it would make sense for the Tera Raid not to be announced last night, because if they've got a Pokemon Presents this week, they'll announce maybe a special one in the Pokemon Presents this week for this Friday, potentially. Or they might announce where they're going to do the Delphox and the Rillaboom, like a double one for the first time, which could be quite cool. So,
when was the last time we had a Pokemon Presents?
February for Pokemon Day. Yeah, so it's been a long time, and we've had no trailers for any of the DLCs since February.
You'd think, right? Announced. I mean, if the first DLC is dropping, let's say between September and December, because no one can pinpoint the dates. They want to tease it soon, right?
They have to, really.
To help
you would think
increase the downloads. I mean, I mean, we're almost in July now, so realistically, we're not that far off.
No.
From
And they need
when
to
it will be.
start,
So
they're going to have,
hyping it up.
yeah, you would imagine they're going to have a number of trailers to promote it.
Oh, 100%.
So they've got to get one out soon because they can't have, they can't have too much together because...
But like you said, maybe if we do get a trailer this week, maybe, like I said, they did obviously have a production schedule for teasers and stuff. And hopefully that should get the ball rolling because we've had Sweet FA for so long now, really. They definitely wanted to get a home out, I think, before they announced the stuff. They might even drop Rillaboom and Delphox on the same weekend. That could be pretty wild.
That would
just
be
to
cool,
get it out of the way.
think. And I think it would catch them up then, wouldn't it? Because my thinking
that's what I mean.
is
Then
as
I don't have to
well,
worry about it.
Yeah, I think Regulation D being announced really links everything together to say we are going to be getting stuff really soon, because I think the one thing that you've got to say with Regulation D is there's a bunch of Pokemon that are not available outside of Pokemon Legends Arceus. So to make it fair, this is across the board, I know, a thing in competitive. They try to make the rule sets as fair as possible, so the Pokemon that are going to be allowed have to be accessible by everyone, right? But you're kind of excluding a portion of the player base who've never picked up Legends Arceus, like a lot of competitive players, because there's no competitive kind of lure with Pokemon Legends Arceus. So a lot of competitive players just didn't buy it, didn't play it, which is sad, right? But that's just the facts. So these players that are like heavily kind of involved in competitive Pokemon aren't going to have access to any of the Hisuian Pokemon through legal means, right? So the only way to get them in Scarlet and Violet right now is going to be through Tera Raid events. And my thinking is that once this first phase is out of the way with the Rillaboom, the Delphox is done, because I do feel like they have a link up, we talked about it with Light, to the Terra masks that we're going to get in the first DLC, the Teal mask. There'll be special Terraforms and things, and these mightiest marks are going to play a role in that. So once they're out the way, the only thing to do after that will be, I feel, is going to be the Hisuian Pokemon in the 7-star Tera Raids. So then everyone's got access to them without having to buy the game. Because people aren't going to go out and buy Legends Arceus now, right? They're just going to hack them in.
No, yeah. I mean, most people, yeah. As taboo as it is, a lot of people do that. I know a lot of people don't like doing that. I know when I first started playing, I was like, no, but I mean, a lot of, in the competitive scene, it's common. So if it's needed, it's needed. But it would make a lot of sense to add them in. But I was just having a quick look of the comparison of how many copies PLA sold compared to Scarlet and Violet.
I think PLA sold like 14 million, around that number.
Yeah, 14 million.
Yes, on the money. I remember from when we did it a few weeks ago. That's why.
So they sold 22 million. So almost just under double. Scarlet and Violet was.
Yeah.
So so probably, let's say roughly half the player base probably doesn't have access to any of these Hisuian Pokemon.
There's a lot yeah. I think the majority, we could do an episode on this in the future about hacking in competitive. I think it's quite an interesting topic to talk about, and I think the more you talk about it, the better it becomes. It's not to rag on anyone or anything like that. It's just an interesting topic to talk about because of the kind of the walls and things that you've got to go through to get good competitive Pokemon in these games. Like an instance, if you're wanting an Enamorus, right? The Therian Enamorus, which has got base 45 speed, right? And you're wanting to use it in a Trick Room. So you're going to want it with a 0 speed IV. You've got to play 20 hours plus of Pokemon Legends Arceus just to obtain that Pokemon. And then you got to trade it over, and then you got to get lucky. Yeah, you got to get lucky with those IVs when you trade it over, because I have no idea how the RNG is.
Because you can't reduce IVs. You can increase them in Scarlet and Violet, but you cannot reduce IVs, and that is the problem if you want to run a Trick Room team. You have to try and get a 0 speed IV one. And I mean, to soft reset, you could be looking at hundreds.
Well, I don't think you can soft reset it, because once it's traded into home, right? I think that's when the IVs get determined.
You can't see it in the game. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I don't think you can then trade it back to Legends Arceus to trade it back into home, because I think those IVs have been predetermined from the first time it was transferred from Legends Arceus into home.
Oh, people are going to be gelling Enamorous then.
I have got my one. Did I tell you my one is legit, right? A 4 IV Enamorous. 4 speed IV, yeah.
Wow. Lucky boy.
I know, yeah. So
I didn't even know that Pokemon existed. That's how, because I haven't even played PLA. I was like, what is this Pokemon, man?
It's cool. It's very good.
But yeah.
The incarnate form's very strong. It's me making waves in Reg D already. The
new, all of the, they're in all of the new, what do you call them? The Genie Pokemon. They all have new signature moves, don't they? Which are pretty wild.
Yeah, they get boosted by the rain as well. Except Enamorouses, which is kind of strange. It's the only one that doesn't, but the others do. So, yeah. Yeah, very cool Pokemon. Very cool moves and stuff like that. So that's been happening in Scarlet and Violet. There was a mystery gift for at the Korean Trainers Cup over the weekend for a Gastrodon that you could get from one of the previous champions. The Japanese National Championship took part since the last pod as well. So I think there's a mystery gift for a Bronzong, and there has been an announcement for let me bring it up.
Pulchua's Shiny Arcanine, wasn't it?
Yes, mate. So that will be given out at the North American International Championships, which will be happening from the 30th of June until like the 2nd of July. I think the giveaway, which will be a mystery gift accessible to everyone through distribution code, will be running until like the 3rd of July. As far as I'm aware, I don't know on exact times for time zones and stuff like that. But Pulchua was the champion at the European International Championships earlier this year. I was there casting. I was very fortunate to be there doing that, and
I was there watching.
managed to witness Paul win, which was really nice to see. Paul's a great guy, and nice to see his Arcanine being the Pokemon that will be distributed over that weekend for the North American International Championships, which will be the last major event before Worlds this season. And for all you Pokemon TCG players as well, at that event you're going to have the chance to get yourself a full art Iona trainer card at the event as well. Kind of similar sort of times, I think it will be running for.
Is it only in TCG Live though?
Yeah, TCG Live. It's not the actual physical card. Different. Oh my god, imagine the physical card they're giving out. That would be nuts. I'd be like, yes, give me one. So it's one per player.
The price would plummet.
Yeah, I know, right? And that'll be running until the 10th of July. But it'll be part of this event as well. So they're the two giveaways that'll be running over that weekend. And I'm sure Pokemon Go will be having a bunch of stuff alongside it as well, mate. So
I was thinking we should do... When is Pokemon... Like the Go Fest, when is that?
August, I think it starts.
Before or after Worlds?
I think one falls around Worlds. I think there's one before it. I think it's like...
When is the London one? Because we could go up
to the London one. Is it 2 weeks before? That'd be fun. I've never been to a Go Fest before.
Let me look it out. Could be good.
Because there's one in London, one in Tokyo, I think, and then one in New York, right?
Uh-huh.
And maybe one somewhere else. I'm getting bashed by all the Pokemon Go fans at the minute for not knowing, so I do apologize.
Look at one London.
Might be good to go though.
You have to buy a ticket.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like £35.
It's not too bad.
It's like it's not too bad, and it's like
so the 4th, 5th, and 6th of August in London. So we could go to that.
That would be fun
if you wanted to go to it.
That's a week before Worlds, then.
Yeah, because we're not sure whether we're going Worlds, are we? So that's a different. That's a good thing it doesn't clash with that.
We will be talking about Worlds today as well, because there's a lot being announced this last few days about things going on at Worlds. But the next thing to talk about is the infamous, you've already mentioned it, 151 set. We're sticking to TCG at the minute. This
so
new
many cards,
holiday set,
leaked.
Yeah, has
it's going to
be announced.
This has been, I've never seen, well, I mean, since I've been paying attention, since you got into it, this is hyped up to the same level as Shining Fates and Hidden Fates, I think. There's already... I saw an interesting post on Reddit. I can't remember if I've actually spoken to you about it. But basically people been like, do not buy scalpers don't pay the scalper prices, because as we've seen with a lot of the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection boxes, and even with Shining Fates, they will come down in price. You'll be able to get hold of them because they're going to print the shit out of this set. Okay,
they will.
Like it's a holiday set, and people, they know, they're not stupid. They know people are going to want to get their hands on this because it's a really cool set. So if you are thinking about getting some, and a lot of websites are already sold out, like, because they come out in September,
pretty much
but the pre-releases are available.
Everywhere that had pre-orders up is sold out, in the UK at least.
So like, you'll be able to get a hold of them. Like, don't panic. Buy from scalpers. Like, I guarantee you'll be able to get hold of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
you will, 100%.
So don't stress. Don't stress about that. But
and you've got until
it will be.
Yeah, you've got until the 22nd of September when the official release date is happening. So you've got plenty of time before this set actually comes out. So there'll be plenty of opportunity to get pre-orders in before then. Like Scott says, it is one of those things. Don't panic about it. Like, FOMO is crazy with this set. So you're going to feel like you're going to miss out. You're not going to miss out. They're going to print it into the ground for sure. It's a holiday set. There's a bunch of different boxes that you can buy from it. We'll go and have a look at them now.
I mean, it's crazy, really, because you think, like,
a lot of the different products.
Crown Zenith wasn't hard to get hold of, was it? And that was a hyped up set.
Yeah, not as much as this.
So
though,
I'm hoping
think.
it would be. Yeah, I'm hoping this won't be too bad, but.
Yeah,
I like the artwork. I think that's part of the reason why it's.
And you get
so
like
cool.
the full art Snorlax as well as the promo card in the Elite Trainer box, and then the one in the
nice.
Pokemon Center one, you get the stamped promo as an additional one. And then you've got the booster bundle boxes, which you've had a lot of luck with these sort of little boxes. So maybe try your luck with them again. And then you've got the poster collection, which is I think 3 packs, and then the binder collection as well, which you get like a binder and I think 4 packs and that. So there's a bunch of things. There's an ultra premium.
Why are there
collection.
2 different ETBs that are listed? Oh, because the Pokemon Center is an exclusive
and then the regular one. So yeah. So you get like 2 additional packs in the Pokemon Center one. And there have been other things that aren't on this website. This is the official Pokemon one. And there's the Elite Trainer box and stuff like that. But like you said, there's been a bunch of cards that have been leaked from the set already. The full arts and stuff like that. There's the Charmander one there. I wonder if they've got any other ones. The Charmander, the Bulbasaur, full arts. And just a lot of different.
The booster bundles haven't sold out. Interestingly, on Pokemon Center, but the ETBs have sold out.
Yeah, the ETBs are gone. So, yeah.
Oh no, they aren't unavailable. Okay, that's just stupid. I don't know why it's not telling you that, but.
So for those that are listening, the artwork on the Elite Trainer boxes is very simple. It's a nice design. It's a big Snorlax on there, so it's like an outline of Snorlax. Sorry, I cut you off there, mate.
No. It's just like I sent you a message this morning, didn't I? Like when the Japanese set got released, obviously it got swallowed up. The hype in Japan is weird at the moment as well. There seems to be a big boom for Pokemon cards in Japan at the moment. I don't know where it's come from, but it's not just the rest of the world now. Like, I mean, obviously, the Japanese cards are never really sought after because they're not English, at least by a lot of the Western world. But, like, the Japanese cards are apparently, like, the Japanese trainers are worth a shit ton of money. Like, if you get, like, any trainer card, basically, if you get a 10, and it's Japanese, it's worth loads.
Really?
Because it's just like there's like I was reading on Reddit the other day. Apparently, there's like a market for it.
Wow.
Just specifically the trainer cards have to be in Japanese, and they're worth loads of money. Loads of money when they're graded too.
I don't think any Japanese trainer cards.
What I was going to say was, Mecha Japan is like the one place, one of the websites that I've heard of where you can buy products, anything Japanese basically.
Yeah.
And they had it on there. That's one of the places you can buy the Japanese 151 booster box. And I was like, when I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, I went to look to see if I could buy one. Couldn't buy one because they'd sold out. So I put my email address on there just as to notify me when there was more available. And then I woke up this morning and they said they had some more. So I went through all the rigmarole. I was like, I'll see how much it will cost and whatever. and it come to like 110 quid. That's without tax as well. And I was like,
for one booster box.
No, I'm not. For one booster box, I'm not paying that.
No.
Like, I'll just pick up some ETBs, man. I can buy 3 ETBs for that. Well, not really 3. Just I could easily get 2 ETBs. 2.5 ETBs for that. So
you could probably get 3 when the price comes down, when they're like no one's buying it, when it's like literally at the end of its life cycle. You get them for that. Yeah, exactly, mate. That's it. I think like you can't like, I don't know, like my opinion on Mecha Japan, they're just doing what everyone else is doing. They're not going to put their prices down because everyone else is charging.
It's actually really funny because they have
so
a little disclaimer. Man. They have a little disclaimer on their website that says prices mimic the demand or something, basically, and they probably just use it as an excuse of because there's such high demand in Japan right now. They probably just inflate the price because, as we've said, Japanese booster boxes are a lot smaller than UK booster boxes. Japanese packs you only get 5 cards as opposed to like 10.
Yeah.
Or is it 11 with the trainer with the energy card? But so it's less packs and also less cards. So they've always notoriously been like 70, 80 quid for a booster box, depending on the set.
Cheaper than that, dude. Like that's expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
like they should. Yeah. I think RRP's around like £40 or £50.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
It's such like it's like inflation, like especially at the minute as well. I think with what's going on in Japan, it's like crazy prices. It is madness. I do feel sorry for the people that are like genuine like Japanese card collectors in the West, because there are plenty of people that I know that do just collect solely like Japanese cards. So for those people, if they don't have like a reliable place to kind of pick the sets up and things, it's really tough. It's like what we pretty much experienced when it all went chaotic with Logan Paul and all of those things.
One of the things I was also thinking is like the Japanese sets always used to be different, right? Because they had the silver borders, but now that since Scarlet and Violet, they don't have that anymore because we now get silver borders in the English sets.
Yeah.
So is there going to be less demand, like even less demand? Like what the difference now between the cards really is that they're just Japanese.
I think the print quality is still better though.
You still think it's better?
Yeah, I think the print quality is still way better from Japan than it ever would be over here. I don't think the print quality's been terrible with the sets that been so far. Like Scarlet and Violet wasn't brilliant, to be honest, mate. I think there was still like issues with it. Like I feel like when I open a pack of Japanese cards, the majority of the cards in there are like 10s, if not 9s, and I'm just referring to these as like, for those of you that don't know, like for grading skill. Like if I sent them to PSA, I would expect majority, like 99% of everything I open out of a pack in Japan would be a 10. Whereas I think like that drops to like maybe like 60%, if not less, from anything that you would pull out in like an English set.
I bought that, I have a graded Shuckle first edition card. It's not a special card that I got from Japan. It's got a 10, right?
It's not Lost Thunder though, is it?
It's not Lost Thunder.
Equivalent,
no. It's
equivalent to Lost Thunder, isn't it?
No. This is years ago. It's from like one of the earlier sets.
Yeah, it is.
It's not one of the new ones.
Yeah, Lost Thunder, mate. That's like Sun and Moon set.
No. It's way before that. The card I have. I've got another Shuckle card that's graded.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a Japanese one. It's from one of the Neo series.
What?
I think.
From the original Shuckle cards.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a Japanese first edition one. But I bought that in like they're called Mandarake stores or Mandrake stores. I'm sorry if anyone's Japanese and I've butchered the pronunciation, but those are like the second-hand stores, and they sell like second-hand video game shit and also trading cards. They kind of blew up for that. And I went into one when I was in Japan, and they had binders upon binders of cards. And at the time, I liked Pokemon when I was over there, but I didn't really sift through a lot of them. I kind of fucking wish I had now, but I found this Shuckle card and I bought it. It was like £2. And I kept it in my wallet, right, for the rest of the trip. I had like 2 weeks left of the trip, week in Japan, a week in Thailand, and all the way home in like, it was like an open up wallet, and then it had a little gap behind the wallet. Some wallets have like a little pocket behind. I kept it in there in a sleeve, got it home, and then sent off to PSA, and I still got a 10.
Wow. How was it not
It's
like
crazy.
bent up and everything?
I don't know. I could not believe it when I
Still
pulled it.
got
I
a
was like,
PSA
oh my God, I forgot that I got this. And then I sent it, and I was like, what? But back to your
Good
point,
wallet.
like the card was mint. The card was mint when I got it. Like it was just a second-hand card. Like it wasn't. It was just in a binder that they had. For
Yeah,
most of them, like you say, I like that. So
I think that's a big difference. You know, I think like most of the set, like the set now, the similarities they look very similar now with the silver borders that we have, but the print quality is still way ahead in Japan, I think, compared to what we get, which
I still
is
think their slabs look better, man. I keep seeing people with the
oh
Japanese
yeah,
slabs,
they
and I
look
think they look way
super
better.
nice. Another one you sent me looked super nice. They're
No,
grading
we showed it
services,
on
cool. Oh
on
yeah,
the
we did.
podcast.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah, of course. Yeah, it's really nice. So that's TCG
But
stuff. The 151 coming out. There's a lot of hype around it. Don't get too carried away with it. Don't get lost in the moment. And yeah, just be patient. It's hard to be patient. I know how that feels. You want to buy it when you get the chance
we've been
to,
there.
but
We've both been there.
don't pay over the odds for it because you will get a chance to pick them up. And it'd be nice to do like an episode, I think, on how the cycle of new sets kind of works for those that are like into TCG. I always find it really interesting, you know, that little period where you've got pre-releases happening and people are pulling the big cards and then banging them on eBay, and then the price is like up here,
Well, it's like
and then like a month later everything's like on the floor.
the Miriam card that I pulled at
Yeah.
EUIC is a classic example of that. Like
Oh yeah.
it tanked, but when it was in pre-release or like because there's a brief period, obviously the Japanese set comes out, right? That card was like everyone wanted that card, and then like I said, in the pre-releases, a few people pull it. It was selling for like 200 quid, and then now it's like 50 quid, if that. And it's like, just wait. If there's a card like that, do
Crazy.
not pay the
Yeah.
price when the sets just come out because they print loads of stuff and more people pull it. So
It can
just
backfire the
wait,
other way as well because it can go the reverse,
go
like
up.
the Moonbrium.
Well, like the Moonbroom card that you said, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it
But that's
depends on the
very
set. I
rare.
think
That's like one in
that
like
set was
1,000 cases of that happening,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
So most of the time they do tank. Like, I mean, I got, what was it? Was it Astro Radiance or Lost Origin? Lost Origin. I pulled the gold Palkia, Origin Palkia
Mhm.
card out of that. And those four, like Origin, Palkia, Dialga, Giratina, and then
Garantina,
Arceus as
Arceus.
well. Yeah. They were like £100 easy. Like that was cheap when that set first dropped. And like they're like £20-30 now. You know, so cheap to
Yeah,
pick up.
that's what I mean.
So just wait for it. Once you've been in the hobby, I think like for a good length of time, you kind of know the trends and you know not to kind of, you do get stung. And like I 100% when I first got into it, I got caught out all the time doing it, and then kind of just started to learn. So it's kind of nice to pass on the message to
I
new
think
players coming in.
they've definitely ramped up production of cards as well since the explosion during COVID. I think
I
they
feel
definitely
like it,
print more now.
yeah, in the West, definitely 100%. It seems like they've gone backwards in Japan, though. They're like the demand, like, I don't know whether the demand's there or if they're just not being able to meet the demand with their print. They've never seemed to have issues really as big as
It
this
is
in the
weird.
past. Yeah, it's strange. Well,
Well, I
that is
guess
that. No, go on,
yeah.
mate. We got more. You got more for us? Give us more.
No, I was just gonna say I guess there are more places that could technically print English cards, whereas Japan's the only place that's going to print Japanese cards.
That's very true.
America's a very big place. They're going to print English cards. I mean, obviously, they print English cards in Australia. Obviously, I don't know whether they probably will come from the same factory somewhere, but there's more English-speaking countries, and there's only one Japanese-speaking country, so maybe they just don't print as much. It would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, that is very true. It's very true. Right, other news this week.
Anyway,
We've got the World Championships. The Pokemon World Championships happens every year. This year, it is a bigger deal than ever because it is happening in Japan
in
for the very
Japan,
first
baby,
time. in Yokohama in August, and there has been a bunch of news this week coming out. We had a tweet earlier this week in regards to the pop-up Pokemon Center that will be happening at Worlds, which looks amazing, and it's going to have a lot of exclusive items to it. But the big thing that's kind of annoying a lot of fans at the minute is the fact that they are doing an application for the lottery to enter the store. So you're going to have to...
They also did a lottery for the spectator passes as well. Because I signed up for the spectator passes.
Yeah.
It's madness.
Yeah. So
I guess they're expecting a lot of people to want to go.
Everything, all the events we'll get into in a minute that are going to be taking place, you have to put yourself into a lottery and look at the draw, whether you get to go to these or not, which is... I guess just because of the demand with it all, and they've probably only got certain capacity.
I mean, if you're not qualified and you're not going to play, I mean, if
it's a big risk.
If you're waiting to find out whether you got a space like a spectator pass, if you wanted to go watch, I mean, booking, as we spoke about, because obviously we wanted to go. Booking it even a month ago, the flights are still insanely expensive, let alone waiting to find out I don't know how long it is until they announce the lottery, whether you can actually get a spectator's pass. It's so frustrating. They always hold back the dates of Worlds. It's really frustrating. And they always release it 2 months before.
So the application period is from... Monday,
June 20th
to June 19th, and then Monday the 19th. Sorry, until Monday
July
3rd. The 3rd of July. It doesn't really state when they're going to announce who was lucky in that. So, but they did reveal a bunch of exclusive merchandise and show some pictures of the stuff that you're going to be able to get. So, there's the token bag, which is really nice. I love the artwork on it. The skateboard is insane. Bear Walker skateboard. Then you've got like a TCG pack here. The deck, I think it's Yokohama deck, which is Pikachu deck. I think some deck boxes and stuff like that there, and then the signature kind of esports t-shirt that they seem to do every year now.
It doesn't look as good as the London one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I don't know what the back's like, but I really like the London one. Obviously, I got one because it was in London, so. But no, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I guess there's going to be such hard demand. I mean, me and you are pretty convinced that they're going to do it in Japan again, right, at some point.
I think they're going to. I think this is just trial year for it. I think this is like, let's do it here because I think this was meant for the 25th anniversary, yeah, but because of COVID, everything got pushed back. So
well, I think
finally doing it here. The 30th anniversary would make a lot of sense to do it on.
Every 5 years.
Yeah.
In Japan would make sense
for the big anniversary years. Yeah, it would make sense to do that.
Yeah. Why not?
If they do it
because
once,
it'd be cool. They're gonna make so much bank from it each time as well, and it's good promotion, right? Going to Japan, it's like it's the birthplace of the game. So even if the novelty's never gonna run off if you do it 5 years, every 5 years, like people are still gonna be hyped as hell for it. So. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, this one goes really well. I'm sure it will. They're always awesome events to watch. I'll be probably watching now from the sidelines.
Never know, mate.
But we'll have to see.
Yeah, the Pokemon Center will be opening on the Wednesday, so that'll be before the event starts officially on the Friday. So that'll be running through to the Sunday, which will be the 13th. This is the venue here. Pacifico, Yokohama North, wherever that is in Yokohama, and then the business hours on the Wednesday it'll be 12 till 8, and then 8 till 8 pretty much every other day apart from the Sunday where I'll have a 6 o'clock close, and that'll be the final. It's going to be cashless as well, so you're going to need to pay with card, and the lottery, there is a bit more information on it down here. So since congestion is expected during the event period, we will hold a lottery in advance to enter the store. Apply for the lottery here. So for those that are listening, we'll put a link to this website that's got all the information on it if you want to enter the lottery to try and get lucky with a spot for the Pokemon Center store. and it'll have everything else that we're going to cover in a minute as well. So that'll be linked in the description on our YouTube channel. And can we put a link on Spotify as well, mate, or not?
Yeah, we can link it on Spotify.
We can put it there as well. So if you want to check it out. So that's basically it. If you win, up to 4 people, including the winner, can enter the store together. So I guess that's not too bad. You can bring 3 friends along with you, which is decent. But it doesn't have a date.
If you're pretty rich.
Yeah. And then it's got a list of all of the commemorative products that you're going to be able to get. And that is not the list here. So for those of you that are listening, this list is chunky. This goes on and on and on with all of the different...
People don't even realize, like, the competitors. So when you compete at Worlds, you get like a competitor's bag.
Yeah.
That will have... It'll be specifically the competitors only get them, but they're worth. They'll have like a competitor's T-shirt and normally a competitor's mat, a mat sleeve, and then a promo card. It'll be slightly different. It'll be the same stuff that'll be sold in the Pokemon Center shop, but it will all be like player
orientated,
specific.
Yeah.
So they'll all be. So they're worth a lot of money basically because they're rare. So they're like.
This is the only thing I've got to hand. This is like a little bag that I keep my. Well, kept my DS in or kept something like that. You get little stuff like this. So this is from Anaheim in 2014, was it? I think 2014.
I have the
was 17. Sorry. Yeah.
San Fran, isn't it?
Yeah, California, Anaheim.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of stuff that you get.
They sell between like 500 to like 1,000 quid, didn't they?
Yeah, it's crazy what they
The competitor bags.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But they are very cool. That's one of the reasons I really want to qualify, just so I can get not to sell, but like because it's like
just
rare,
to have it,
right?
Yeah.
No, only competitors get them.
It's super exclusive merch. And then they used to do like the bags never used to be that great. Like back in like 13, 14, the bags were pretty. They were like just like literally like a drawstring bag. They were.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
But then they had like if you got top 8 at Worlds, you got a really exclusive bag, and that was like the gold dust. And I got one up on my shelf up there from 2014 when I got top 8 that year. And that I remember a guy coming up to me straight after I picked up my prizing, and he was like, "I'll give you $1,000 for that bag," and I was like, "No." And it was a good job I didn't, because I didn't realize the top 8 card that I
which is worth a lot of money.
I didn't realize it was in the bag, so I didn't really discover that for like months afterwards when I was like back home and finally.
You have it graded now, don't you?
Yeah, I got that graded, so that's safely.
But like the winners cards are wild as well, because for those of you who don't know, the top 4 people, they have a first place, second place, and a third place. Obviously, there's 2 third place cards. For starters, they are gorgeous cards, but because they are insanely rare, because obviously it's only the winners that get these cards, right? And Pokemon, has there been 10 World Championships yet, or what? But
no, there's been more.
There's not many of them.
So this will be the 13th one officially.
Okay.
2010.
So there's only like probably 10 of these cards in existence for like the first place ones.
Yeah. Well.
So you can imagine the price.
That over the different divisions and then by.
Yeah. Like, true.
Different like.
It's a very small amount of cards, basically.
Yeah. So this is one here. I've got. This is what they look like.
So pretty. It's fucking cool.
They're really nice. They're really nice cards. Yeah. But so there's that as well. Other things that are happening at Worlds, because there was a bunch of stuff that was announced. So the Pokemon Center store. On top of that, there was a bunch of events that are going to be announced. This is not going to be like a small scale event. A large Pokemon event will be held in conjunction with Pokemon World Championships. This summer, the Pokemon World Championships, the World Tournament for Pokemon Battles, will be held in Japan for the first time. To commemorate the holding of the World Tournament in Yokohama, we will have an event full of Pokemon to liven up the tournament. Let's spend a fun summer with Pokemon. So the events that will be happening over this weekend. You're going to have the Pokemon Summer Festival Park. You're going to have a fantastic Pokemon live show, which is called We Move, which is a Pokemon like laser light show, which is going to have like
With
a bunch
drones,
of
man, that
dancing
looks
Pikachus.
wild. This all
Yeah.
looks so sick.
Imagination into the next level, so another live show that they're going to have. Pikachu Gathering, which is going to be like a horde of
all the memes of the all the Pikachus.
They're going to have the SSN there as well, so Pokemon Trainer Cruise they're going to have there as well, so you can go onto the boat, and for that as well they say bring your decks, bring your switches, so you can battle trainers on the board, so it'll be a little bit like
It'll be so
the
cool,
SSN, so that is very cool. And then a big Pokemon parade they're going to have as well, and then Pokegenic, which is going to be all around Yokohama at different spots around the city, basically, where they're going to have like picture things where you can go and take pictures of all this different stuff, which is just absolutely nuts. And I am really just touching a tip of the iceberg with all of this stuff that's going to be going on at Worlds for that weekend. They're going to have the big symphonies. It's the NHK Symphony Special Orchestra as well. So that'll be happening. And yeah, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be absolutely insane.
I wonder if the products, the TCG products in the Pokemon Center in Japan will be Japanese or English. I think they do both.
Maybe do
or
both.
Or just Japanese.
Probably Japanese, you know. They might not though.
Because obviously in London, obviously they're just going to do English but Japan, I mean, it'd be a bit of a kick in the face if they're not doing Japanese, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
They must be doing Japanese. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting
to find out.
Yeah,
what's going on.
So, that's all of that, the Pokegenic stuff, and then the only other thing that I had news-wise this week, mate, before we get onto Scott's goodie bag corner, and I'm putting you on the spot here, was just a quick update with Pokemon Go as well. We've got a new event happening in Pokemon Go. Spend the perfect day or evening with the Pokemon during the Celestis Horizons event. So this will be running from the 16th of June and running right through till the 25th of June. It's going to give you access to a bunch of new Pokemon. You're going to get increased chances for Mantis showing up. You got shiny chances for that. Murkrow, Drifloon, Purloin, and Cottony showing up, and you can also now get yourself to the Hisuian Sneasel as well, so that'll be accessible through the day, and then at night everything will change. It'll be regular Sneasel at night, and you're going to be able to get these other Pokemon, which are going to be Oddish, Spinarak, Mischievous, Lunatone, Skunky, Venipede, Fungus, Phantom, and Fomantis again. And then there is a special research event running, the Hidden Gems research, which involves Cosmo. And also there's a Team Rocket Hidden Gem event, which will be happening on Wednesday the 21st, the day this pod goes live this week, from 12 a.m. To Sunday the 25th of June. And that allows you to take part in a special research event where you can chase down Giovanni and get yourself a Shadow Reggie Rock, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for the news this week, mate, and all the updates that are going on.
You filled me in.
Things filled you in up to
just a quick one.
Yeah,
that I've just remembered on here. Apparently, I mean, this I guess kind of makes sense, but the 151 set is made to order in Japan. Is what they're doing with it.
That's pretty cool.
I guess because of all the demand that they've got at the moment, maybe they I guess it makes sense, right? Because they know exactly how much they need to print.
Yeah.
So maybe it'd just be like one per household or something like that.
They've done that with a few things recently, and I like that. They've done a lot of different, they've done lotteries where you can kind of I can't remember how many lotteries I've entered to try and get some exclusive products and never been successful. But then I really enjoyed the products. Well, I've got the Precious Collector box from Sword and Shield, and that was made to order. So you could always guarantee yourself getting one of those, but you had to put your order in with the Japanese website in the window where they were kind of taking orders. But everyone that pre-ordered one got one, which was pretty nice. So that's a good way going forward. You might have to wait a bit longer, but at least you're not paying like crazy money or getting done by scalpers and things like that. So kind of good.
Okay, so I've only got one thing for Scott's Goodiebag this week. You put me on the spot here because I haven't actually been on Reddit a lot or online a lot this week.
We did open the episode
and
by saying how busy you'd been, so I kind of felt like I was like, have you got something? We'll just test the water to see.
It's not Pokemon related, but it's Game Boy related. So I'm gonna send it to you now in Discord so you can open it up.
Send me
but
it.
We'll open it up and then I'll explain it. We can talk about it.
Right. Okay. Okay. Right. I'm gonna pull it open right now. Right, for our listeners, the title is For Reasons No One Can Fathom, McDonald's has released a new Game Boy Color game. And the big screenshot of it is called, what is that?
Grimace's birthday.
Grimace's birthday. Okay. So they've released this game.
Yep,
Game Boy Color game.
A Game Boy Color game.
Right, I'm just like, this took me a minute just to sink in. I'm reading that and I'm not actually processing. They've just released the Game Boy Color game this year, right? This has just happened. This isn't like
this is why there's an article about it because it doesn't make any sense.
That's crazy. Is that person playing on an Analog Pro? Yes, they are.
And a Pocket, yeah, they are.
Yeah, Analog.
It says here the game is so period authentic that there's even a screen telling original monochrome Game Boy owners that the game requires a color device to play. Even on Game Boy hardware, it still makes references to people playing on mobile devices.
Wow. Does it come with a box as well, or is it just a cart?
I actually don't know.
I want to know. If it comes in a box, that's pretty cool. Doesn't have anything there. Let's have a look at this. Grimace's birthday. That's wild that they've done that. That is
so weird.
So crazy.
But do you remember the best McDonald's, people can leave their comments in the description about what they think is the best McDonald's thing or collaboration they've ever done. But
did you ever
this day, go on.
Is this in Japan? Or is this Korea, did you say?
I don't remember what does it say is happening.
Developed by Cruel's Toys. Don't know if it says on the Reddit post. Does it? On July the 1st. Oh no,
that's the other one.
Yeah, that's not it.
No idea, mate, but it's a thing.
Yeah, because it's like in English, like that's crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was wild.
Wow, that is actually wild. That's amazing. What were you gonna say, mate? Sorry,
I was just gonna say
processing.
No. I was just gonna be like, do you remember the little Sonic Game Boy things that we got at McDonald's?
Yes.
Those were the shit, man. They were the best McDonald's gifts ever done, man. Yeah. You had a Tails one, you had a Shadow, you had a Sonic one, and you also had a Knuckles one. They were unreal, bro.
McDonald's have done some good toys over the years. Can you remember I think it was Burger King that did the gold-plated Pokemon cards?
Yeah, Pokemon cards. Yeah.
Actual gold-plated. Like, you would never get that now. That's nuts.
No, they're so crap nowadays.
Yeah.
All the gifts that they do.
Like, Thea hates Happy Meals. Like, she didn't like the food, so it's pointless ever getting them.
It's good.
You know? Which is, a really good thing, but can never get the toy, so...
Yeah, true. But sometimes they let you buy the toy, I think. Because it's a thing, like, if they do... Or you can swap, like, if there's, like, a good McDonald's thing, like for example, that Sonic thing, you would only get one of them, right?
Yeah.
So you'd want to keep going to Mackey's to get the others. And sometimes you could ask them to swap it over if you wanted a different toy. So. But no, yeah. That's pretty much it, to be honest.
Yeah. I remember, like, so many trips when I was younger to McDonald's and getting some cool toys. And then just being like, I know, like, when you'd ask, like, I think I can remember asking when I was younger, do you have this one? and they'd be like, no, this week's only this one, and you'd be like, when's the other one going to be in? They're like 2 weeks time.
I think
and
they
you're
did a
like,
promotion when we was younger. They did a Star Wars promotion, and it was like a little lightsaber, and it had in the lightsaber it had a little maze with one of those like silver balls.
what?
I think
That's
it
pretty
was
cool.
for one of like Revenge of the Sith or something.
Wow.
Because there was I remember there being a purple one, so
Yeah.
that would make sense. I know Mace Windu's in the other ones, but it must have been something like that. But no, yeah, McDonald's has done some wild stuff. They seem to be lacking every time I go in Mackey's. What they've got on offer is like just nothing like we had when we were growing up. I feel like they've just kind of given up a bit. You know, I guess the generation below us is very hard to please, so maybe they've just given up.
Yeah, given up.
Unless it's an iPhone or an iPad, they're not interested.
Do you think Grimace's birthday, this new game that they've brought out, is going to be one of these games in like 10 years' time that's like everyone's like, that's the game you need. If you've got a Game Boy Color, you need that game. It's going to be like this sought after game that was released 28.
It will definitely be rare
years.
because most people are going to bin it, right?
100%.
It's going to be one of those things. No one's going to keep it. So I think it'll be worth money. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I want to find
it,
where
but you'd have to keep it for a while.
Yeah, you're gonna have.
Because I bet
just
those
sit on
Sonic
that.
things are worth a lot of money now. I bet they're not cheap if you wanted to buy like the original set
Wow.
of them. So
can you imagine? Yeah, they were fire though. I agree. I think they're probably the best toys that we've had. You still get good Pokemon like merch from there. They do TCG stuff regularly.
Yeah, I did see that. They do, yeah, but nothing crazy. But yeah, it's not.
But
the
they
same.
did the set for celebrations, didn't they? It was like a kind of add-on set for celebrations. But that people went mad for that, and like content creators were like
the
going
promos.
and buying a crazy amount of Happy Meals just to get the promo cards. But I've seen them like so much since, like people selling the boxes of of those sealed packs, like boxes of them, and they're like £100 or something like that. So they're not like crazy expensive. So it'd be a good investment for the future. McDonald's, some of the McDonald's promos, the Japanese ones, the really early Japanese McDonald's promos are some of the coolest promos.
Anything Japanese is.
Yeah.
They just get better stuff.
There's a Squirtle one. It's one of my favorite cards of all time. I've been after this card forever. I will show it just for the pod, just because we got a few minutes left. Donald's promo, Japan. It's a very old card. It was an E series card.
I think I remember this actually.
Oh, it's a beautiful card.
Because I'm pretty sure I tried to buy it once. Or because they did a set, there was other cards, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure I've seen the other cards before. Because I was looking up, I was like, where can you get this card? And then I found out there's a Mackey's one. Yeah.
Can't.
You got to.
I've got to do this. Because I've had to do this. I've got to do this. Reveal.
Yeah. This card, 100%. I've seen this before.
Look at that.
It's banging.
Yeah. The Bulbasaur and the Charmander ones are. Yeah. It's amazing. Cool. And I had the opportunity, like, I want to say like 5-6 years ago, to pick one up, PSA 10 for like maybe like £60, and I was like,
oh, stop,
it's too much.
Stop.
PSA 10.
Stop.
And I wish I'd just done it, but never mind. I can't even get a raw one now because I don't want to buy a banged up one for like
exactly.
Like £150 and it'd be banged up and be like, But it's I mean, imagine getting a Happy Meal and pulling that little dude out. That'd be good.
That would be wild.
So basically, for our listeners, if you're watching this, it's an E-series card. So the e-reader cards had a bit of a thicker border on the bottom and then up the left-hand side, so you could use the e-reader attachment for your like Game Boy Advance and stuff like that, which was pretty cool.
Is that what it was for?
Yeah, you could scan them in.
I did not know that. That is wicked.
Yeah, and then the Squirtle is on like a really nice hollow background, but it's blowing a big bubble from bubblegum that it's been chewing, and it's just a really cool card. It's just really, really cool. Yeah. When was that? When was it from? It must have been like 2006. I would say 2006, 2007. I don't know. Around that time, maybe a bit earlier. But yes, that was one of my favorite ones. But that's pretty much everything for this week. I am praying this episode comes out on Wednesday, right? I'm praying by then we've had the Pokemon Presents at least announced, or it might have even happened. It might be happening on Wednesday. So we'll have a bunch of stuff to talk about. You should live stream
it on your channel.
I will 100%. Be 100%. It is Glastonbury Festival this week, though, so it might be difficult. But I'll make sacrifices for this because this happens once in a while, and nothing's happening.
You gotta do it
Wednesday or Thursday at Glastonbury. So even if it's Friday, I'll be live streaming it over on the channel. So it'll be very good, and hopefully we get a bunch new information about the DLCs, which would be great. Because I mean, I would imagine that we might get. I don't know if it's too far-fetched to say, are we going to get a release date for the Teal Mask if they do a promo trailer for it in a Presents? Feels like they would warrant
it would be nice to give a date.
Information to be like, this is the date, it's coming out, expect it then, and then here's a new
It depends how big. If it's a Presents, I think there's a fair chance they would announce.
Yeah.
Announce an actual date. I'm pretty convinced if it is a Presents. If they just maybe just drop a trailer. I don't think they necessarily will, but if they do a Presents, I'm pretty sure they'll probably announce it because they'll make a big deal out of it. You don't do Presents otherwise, do you?
Yeah, there's so much stuff though that they can talk about in the Presents. They've got the classic collection that hasn't really been talked about too much. They can go a bit more in detail about that. They can talk about TCG Live as well, some new features on that to promote that. They got stuff that's happening like Golf Fest and things like that. And Golf, they want to touch on that. They probably won't because it's more Niantic. But Unite, they've got plenty of things going on there. EX Masters has a bunch of events happening at the minute. And then Scarlet and Violet, obviously the big DLC things that are coming up. So it does feel like they got, and Pokemon Sleep as well. They could actually announce when that is going to drop because that is meant to be Pokemon there this summer. So that would make sense. They've got a bunch of stuff that they could be talking about and covering in like a 15-minute segment, right?
We'll have to see. We'll know in next week's episode.
We will know. Either way. Maybe we just make something up for next week if we don't get it. But maybe next week is the week. I think it has to happen before
we just go
July.
Take calls and just hold them hostage.
Yeah.
Take that giant Clodsire plushie and just beat them with it. Like, tell us the date. We need to know.
When's it coming? Come on. Yeah, hopefully.
Get them underneath it. Tell us.
Yeah. I've definitely hit the wall with Scarlet and Violet now where I'm like, I need something new to do. Like the 7-star Tera Raids. I think a lot of people do. But because we've not had them recently, I'm like, yeah. So I've been playing a lot of Emerald, which has been a lot of fun. So there's I just feel like Scarlet and Violet is on its last strand. We need something this week or next to kind of just reinvigorate the fan base. Give us something to look forward to. Give us something to do in game. Be really nice. And yeah, but we're 1 hour and 3 minutes exactly now, mate.
Oh, perfect.
Well, it's probably not 1 hour 3 minutes because we had a little bit of an extended intro, so I'll probably cut that bump out. But we're just over the hour mark, so we're probably good to end it there. I will just say thank you so much to everyone who's tuning in, leaving comments, interacting with us on YouTube, and everyone that has left us a review on Spotify and iTunes. Keep them coming. And yeah, let us know topics for the pod that you'd like for us to kind of delve into, because we will be delving into more detailed things in the future, and hopefully we've got a few more things to talk about next week. But if there's specifics, keep the ideas coming. Let us know what your thoughts are on everything that we covered in today's pod, and I'll pass it over to you. You can sign us off this week, mate.
Thank you very much for listening and watching if you're on YouTube. We really do appreciate all the support that we've had so far. This is so much fun, this podcast, and we're just going to keep doing it. We're not going to stop. We made a point. We're 13 episodes in. We're going to get to 100. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. It's going to be Gucci. And then we're not going to stop until we take over the world with this podcast. So, you know. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. That is it for this episode. So, thank you so much for listening. And hopefully, we'll have some news in the next episode. So, goodbye.
Till then, bye-bye, friends.
Everybody just do your thing. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.